video. If you could subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, let me know how I'm doing, and then don't forget to hit that bell so you can catch all the future content that I will release. So I got a subscriber question a couple days ago asking me, the tools that I can't live without. So I thought I would go over that today and guys let you know, the tools that are, my favorite ones, the ones I use on a regular basis, and the ones that have made my life as a technician a lot easier. So the first up, so these are wire strippers. These are made from Cornwell. A lot of other people make these. I just bought them off the Cornwell truck because, that's who was there at the time. So these are really easy. So all you got to do is you put the wire in, and then you just squeeze, and then it strips it just like that. I mean, no effort, it's not hard at all, and it doesn't cut into the wires, it only rips off the insulation. So something like that. Every time I'm doing an electrical job, I have my Cornwell strippers, and then these are my crimpers, so these are Nico. So technically you could use this to get the job done. You can cut the wire, you can crimp the wire, and you can strip the wire. With this tool you can do the same thing. You can cut the wire, you can strip the wire, and you can crimp the wire. But I like these strippers more than I like this style of stripper where you have the different gauges and you put it inside. I also don't like the cutters where I have to open up the handle and slide the wire in the middle to cut it. So I use these strictly for crimping, and I use these strictly for stripping. But so these are Nico. I got these off of Amazon. It was like 12 bucks. They've done me really good. They do a really good job at crimping. I don't know about you guys, but after I crimp a terminal, I always give it a good strong tug to make sure it's not going to come out, and I've never had a wire come out when you crimp with these. And then again, these are best strippers on the market, I believe. So next up is this is a 1/2 inch air impact. So this is 4.5 inches this way. It puts out 550 foot-pounds of torque. This is a Cornwell. The part number on this bad boy is CAT 5150. So if you guys can see it there, it's a little bit dark in here. But so this thing is super nice for getting in those tight spots. I mean, there's so many times where you're trying to get a regular impact in there and there's just not enough room, or you got to put a swivel on and you get torque loss and everything like that. This eliminates a lot of that problem. I mean, this isn't putting out as much torque as a regular 1/2 inch impact. It's only around the 525 mark, but that's still a lot. I mean, a lot of the times for the stuff I've been using it for, I have to heat up the bolt a little bit and able to get it off. But I mean, it still stops me from having to use a ratchet and ratchet everything by hand. I try to use power tools and air tools as much as I can just to make my life easy, but I mean, for taking stuff off, this is a badass motherfucker. So up next, I mean, you guys have heard about these. So these are Nipix Cobras. I bought the set of 3. I bought the set of 3 from Cornwell, so you have the 12 inch, the 10 inch, and then the 8 inch. So I mean, what's nice about these is just the sheer amount of grip that they have. I mean, the opening mechanism to change size is nice. It's not going to slip, and you're not going to crush your fingers like you would with a lot of other vice grip type pliers. But I mean, the amount of sheer grip that these things give you is just absolutely insane. I mean, you could put these on a pipe and you could do pull-ups on them if you really wanted to, and it's not going to slip, because these teeth just dig in, and they don't mar anything too bad, but I mean, they grip on nice and tight. I mean, if you haven't heard of Nipix Cobras before, I mean, I suggest picking yourself up a set and you'll just realize how awesome they actually are. These are made in Germany. The part numbers on these, I don't have a part number for the whole set, but I'll give you all 3 of the part numbers individually, is KXC 1200, KXC 1150, and then KXC 1100. So it goes down by 50 every time for the smaller sizes. But yeah, Nipix Cobras, they're fantastic. So next up, I'm not going to show you the whole set, but so these are Tecton offset angle wrenches. They have a 30 degree and a 60 degree angle. These are right there. These are made in the USA. The chrome job on these is absolutely fantastic. Another awesome thing, I mean, you can see, I mean, I'm blinding myself here, right there. I mean, the chrome is just, it's nice and shiny. So another thing about these are very affordable. So you can get the whole set from 5/16. Don't know why you would need one of these wrenches as a 5/16, but it goes from 5/16 to 1.25" for $250. That's on Tecton's website. And so if you're on Tecton's website and you sign up for an account, you're going to get free shipping, and then they're going to kick back 10% of what you spent back in reward points to you that you can then use on future purchases. Or you can, you can save them up and you can buy some other stuff. But I mean, I've bought some stuff from Tecton. I've bought my chrome 12-point socket sets are Tecton. I have 2 of my impact sets are Tecton. These angled offset wrenches are Tecton, and then I have bought their 3/4 expanded impact set standard from Tecton. That goes for all the way up to 2.5. So it goes from 2" to 2.5. So I mean, that stuff I bought from Tecton, I've never had any problems with them. Another nice thing about Tecton is they're not scared to tell you where their stuff is made. If it's made here in the US, they're going to say it. If it's made in China, in Taiwan, India, wherever the hell it is, they're going to tell you right on the product description. It's not going to be hidden somewhere. You're not going to have to look really hard to find it. Sometimes they'll say, this part of the screwdriver, the shank, is made in the USA, but the handle is made in Taiwan. They're not trying to hide anything from you. They're going to tell you exactly where it's made. But even then, I mean, their tools are nice quality. If you deal with hydraulic fittings a lot, hydraulic lines, I suggest getting a set of these 30-60 degree wrenches. You have 8 different positions, and there's almost never a spot where you can't get the wrench on in one configuration. I mean, it might take you a while, but I mean, it'll get there. I'm actually going to buy the expanded set that goes from 1.25" up to 1.5", because I deal with stuff that's 1.5" and a lot for hydraulic lines. But yeah, the Tecton offset wrenches, pick yourself up a set of these. It's more affordable than the snap-on set, which, the standard set that they sell on the truck goes up to 3/4 of an inch, and most of the time you're dealing with stuff bigger than 3/4 of an inch, at least for me. And that set on the snap-on truck is $300-something, $400-something bucks. I mean, it's expensive. I would rather spend $250 and get a whole set that goes up to 1.25". I mean, it's still made in the USA. Tecton also has a always guaranteed, so it doesn't matter if I buy it and I sell it to Bob and Bob sells it to George and George gives it to his kids. They can take that tool. If it ever breaks, they can contact Tecton. They will send them a package to send them the tool back in. Then they're going to send out a new one. So I mean, it's an easy warranty process. It's not as convenient as the truck driving right up to your shop, but I mean, they are going to get you taken care of. So next up, we're going to go over electric impacts. I mean, electric tools have come a long way in the last couple years, and I mean, some of you that have them know it's hard to live without them. It's hard to go back to air and have a hose follow you around everywhere, or just takes up that little bit extra room, or it's louder, or anything like that. So this is my rigid mid-torque half-inch drive. I bought this years ago, and this is what I use for working on cars and light trucks. This does just about everything I've ever needed to do on a car or a light truck. Cars especially, it gets the job done. Light trucks, there's some things here and there, some suspension work that things are just a little bit too tight for this to break free. But I mean, this is pushing out 550, 600 foot-pounds of torque, and I mean, it does its job. And these have if you register Rigid Tools, they have a lifetime warranty on the tool, and they have a lifetime warranty on the battery. The problem is you have to register each individual thing you buy, and it has to be within 90 days of the day of purchase. I've had to warranty out a battery before. I contacted Rigid. They made sure I had everything registered. I sent it back to them. They sent me a new one just like that. So Rigid is good, and they're a lot more affordable than Snap-on or Milwaukee or even DeWalt or Makita or any of those guys. Rigid is one of the more affordable. I mean, when I bought this, the bare tool was 190 bucks, and now they've came out with a new upgraded version of the half-inch that is closer to the specs of the Milwaukee half-inch, and it's only 200 bucks. So this one, the Gen 5X, has probably gone down in price. I haven't checked, but I mean, these are good guns. So continuing on with the electric impacts. So this is the M12 3/8 stubby from Milwaukee. A fantastic little impact. I mean, it gets them into some compact places. It has modes 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 being an auto tightening, so once it starts to impact, it lets off so you don't break anything. You can use that for running lug nuts down or anything else you just want to run down to where it's just a little over hand tight, and then you can torque it on after that. But like most of us do, we use 3/8 more than anything else that we need. So I mean, having a 3/8 electric impact is nice. Now, it doesn't have to be Milwaukee. You could have the Snap-on one, or Rigid actually just came out with a 3/8 impact. Has about the same specs as this. But I mean, you know, they're expensive. Find the one you like. Stick with the battery platform that you have. See, my problem is I bought 3 different battery platforms. I have M12, I have M18, I have Rigid, and I have Snap-on. So I'm dealing with 4 different batteries in my drawer with 4 different chargers. So it takes up more room. If I would have just stuck with one tool line, it would have saved me a lot of room in my box. But at the time I wanted that impact, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money on Milwaukee, and then I bought the M12, and then the M18 sounded good, and it's just it's a wormhole to go down. So to my M18 Milwaukee impact, so this is the half-inch drive, this is the high torque, this is what I use working on trucks. So the nice thing about this is there is not much on a truck that I found that this can't break free. I mean, I've used this on yoke nuts before, and we all know those are torqued down pretty high. I can't take lug nuts off with these most of the time. I mean, sometimes they're torqued down harder than others, or they've been on there longer, but I mean, most of the time this can take off lug nuts, yoke nuts, torque arm bolts, a lot of the big suspension shit that's like usually really on there. But yeah, so again, electric impacts, it's hard to live without them after you had them. And if you haven't had one, get your hands on one, try it out, and you'll realize how much easier it can make your life. So sticking in the realm of electric tools, so I've shown you guys my electric ratchets before. But I mean, so, this is the Snap-on 3/8 extended head. This is not the Brute. I have read reviews on the Brute. I am thinking about getting it just for the fact that, this one's putting out 40 foot-pounds of torque, and the Brute's putting out 85. And it's not a big deal, but it's just a little bit longer than the extended 3/8 head. But I mean, for right now, I just, break it by hand, and then I use these. So this is the 3/8 version of the long neck. This is the 1/4-inch version of the Snap-on of the long neck. Again, not the Brute. And then this is the Milwaukee short 3/8. So you can see that it's a little bit shorter than the 1/4-inch. But I mean, its head size is quite bulky compared to like the Snap-on here. See that? I mean, the head sizes are almost identical, but I mean, the neck part of it is a lot bigger. And then one of my complaints on it is the trigger. It's one of those paddle triggers, and I don't really like that. I like the Snap-on where it just has a button you have to push. But I mean, electric ratchets have made my life a lot easier. You can do things a lot faster, more proficient, and it just helps out a lot. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had to use this one to go down in a tight area where I don't have a lot of swing room with my ratchet, and this will just break it free and it'll spin it right out, and I just have to hold a button. I don't got to do a whole lot. Electric ratchets have made, I've gotten a little bit lazy because I don't even like to use my hand ratchets anymore. I'm just going to the electric ratchets every time. I forgot one more. So this is another. So this is a 1/4-inch hex impact. I have the 1/4-inch hex to 1/4-inch adapter in it right now. This is the M12 Milwaukee. this is another thing I like, because I thought about buying the 1/4 inch impact, but it has the same torque specs as this one. But this one you can use as a screw gun. I mean, if you put this thing on mode 1, if you put it on mode 1, it's very light. I mean, you can put in little teeny tiny screws and it's not going to break them, because it puts like 10 inch-pounds of torque on them. So I bought this so I could use it as a 1/4 inch impact, or I can use it as a screw gun, and I mean, it's great for that. I use this thing a lot for you know, hose clamps and inner dash work, because it's nice for that. So next up, so these are Astro Pneumatic 3/8 metric impact sockets, swivel sockets. The nice thing about these, not only is the size really easy to read, you know, it's on the socket and it's on the body, but these don't have a pin. So inside you have this hex design, so it catches, and unlike Gear Wrench or Matco's X-Force design, these don't have a whole lot of slop. I mean, there's a little bit, but it's nothing like the X-Force. But I mean, these are shorter than if you just put a regular socket on a regular impact swivel. These are a lot shorter than that. They don't bind up at all. And I mean, once you get a set of impact swivels, I mean, it's hard to think that you used anything else before that. I mean, they're super nice to use. They're really convenient. You have less torque loss. I mean, with swivels, you're always going to have torque loss, but there's less of it. So next up, so this is my Sunex set of 3/8 mid-length impact sockets in the standard. I have the standard, I have the metric, but I mean, I first bought mid-length sockets in chromes, thinking that, you know, they would be useful every once in a while, and then I realized how useful they were, and I was like, okay, I have to get an impact version of that. So, you know, these are the Sunex. These are made in Taiwan. The set goes from 5/16 all the way up to an inch. But the nice thing about these is, like, they're cheap. They're very affordable. I think this set was $50 or $60 on Amazon, and it has a lifetime warranty. And, you know, Sunex has a really easy return policy with their tools. So all you have to do is, you know, you have to contact the company and they send you out a package. Actually, I think they've changed it to where you send them a picture of the broken tool via email, and they will send you out the new tool, and then you send back the old tool in the package that they provide. So it makes it really easy. Again, it's not as convenient as walking onto a tool truck that shows up to your shop once a week, or sometimes you can call the tool dealer and he can come to you and replace the stuff. But I mean, these are still nice for the price that you pay. I mean, you could buy several sets before you get up to a snap-on set. But I mean, in impact sockets, you're going to break them. I mean, so it's kind of up to you on, you know, it's when they're going to break, and then how fast do you want it to be returned to you. I mean, because if these mid-lengths break, I have shallows and I have deeps that I could substitute for. I mean, or I have chromes. I mean, I can get the job done. I have duplicates of sockets, not exactly in the same, you know, impact or non-impact, but I mean, I have another one that I could get the job done with. So waiting a week for one of my tools to come back for warranty isn't super big of a deal for me, because I have extras of things. So, you know, Sunex impact sockets, mid-length. I mean, it's hard to live without mid-length. Once I started using them, it was just, these are super nice. I use them all the time now. I use them on my M18, my M12 3/8 impact. So next up are my flashlights. I mean, these are in my pocket all the time. So I used to have, you know, regular, you know, to throw the batteries away, put new batteries back in after fucking 12 hours of use. Then I bought, coworkers of mine kept on bugging me. They're like, you gotta buy a Streamlight, you gotta buy a Streamlight, they're way worth it. And I mean, I didn't really want to spend I think Cornwell on my tool truck. He was selling them for almost $200. I didn't think that was worth it for a flashlight. But, you know, I got this one on Amazon. It was $120. It came with 2 batteries and a charger. And, I mean, ever since I bought it, I haven't been sad about it. It's been super nice. At the bottom here, I actually put on a magnet. I just super glued it on. It's one of my, I like hanging things off the side of my box. So I buy these magnetic hooks off of Amazon. They're like $1 a piece, sometimes less. But I mean, these magnets here are super strong. These have a 50-pound pull strength. So I mean, once it actually is on something, it's hard to get it off. I mean, they snap on there good. So I super glued it on the bottom of this, and I mean, this is going through my Peterbilt mat and my snap-on mat before it actually hits the metal of the toolbox. I mean, it still grips on really nice to that. So then, the last thing is my little Streamlight flashlight here. So I bought this thinking I could use it at times, but this is almost the one that I go to more than my big Streamlight. Because you know, it's nice and bright and it's small. It can get into a lot of places. And I mean, and it's got a little AAA battery in it. I charge it once a day, and I've used it up for up to 10 hours in one day, and it's, you know, I didn't kill the battery. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, if you can, remember, give me a comment, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and then hit that bell so you can see all my future videos. I'm gonna go home, guys. Work day's over. All right, peace.